Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Lisa Richardson.
And I'm Will Wareham with WHHI-TV. We're coming to you today from Lowcountry Montessori School in Beaufort. And our first guests are Amy Horn, the director of the school, Sarah Fox, who's a parent and an office administrator, and Cabell Hayward, who's a teacher and parent at Lowcountry Montessori School.
And joining us also today are two students here at the school, Reese Myers and Bailey Johnson.
So stick around for more 843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
.843 TV, where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Beaufort comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak. Welcome to 843 TV. We're coming to you today from Lowcountry Montessori School, and we're joined by Amy Horn, Sarah Fox, and Cabell Hayward. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay, so for those who are maybe not as familiar with you all with the Montessori concept, could you give us a little bit of an idea of what the vision is for Lowcountry Montessori School and what makes it unique?
I think the vision is to educate students in the Montessori method. And for some people that are knowledgeable about the Montessori method, they understand what we're doing here. I think for those looking in from the outside, it may look a little different than your traditional setting. With that vision, we're trying to offer Montessori education to students who wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity. Mm-hmm. So it's I think a fabulous thing because we have currently about 350 students, and many of those students wouldn't necessarily have that opportunity otherwise.
Right.
No.
Do you have any students that maybe were preschooled or had some schooling that were more traditional and then come into Montessori? Is that transition difficult for them?
I do think it takes time. I'm not going to say it happens overnight,
right.
But what we find is that if you've got a classroom with a lot of children that are already acclimated to the method, it's much easier. They come in and they kind of watch and they have models of students to show them how to behave and how we do things around here, so that transition makes it easier.
Sure.
And Amy, could you just let the viewers know who may not be familiar with the Montessori method, what does that actually look like in the classroom?
I think that a lot of people know what it looks like at the lower levels. You have that multi-age classroom, you have freedom of choice within that classroom, so the students are able to choose their activities or their work that they do at any given time. There's also a 3-hour work cycle that goes along in that multi-aged grouping. So it's really phenomenal to watch. If somebody is out there and was interested in coming in and looking at what we do, we're always open to people observing. And to see it is to really buy into it.
Sure.
It becomes a little different at the older ages. The philosophy is still there, and the multi-aged classroom is still there. For example, our middle school 7th and 8th graders, our high school are grouped into 2 cohorts. 9th and 10th graders are together, and then next year we'll add 11th grade. Mm-hmm. And so eventually that 11th and 12th grade will be the upper cohort in the high school.
Okay.
So.
And Cabell, you're a teacher here, right?
I am.
And have you been teaching in the Montessori kind of program for a while?
Not at all. This is my first year.
Okay.
And I'm actually not Montessori certified.
Okay.
But I discovered this school in the process of trying to find an appropriate school for my son. Mm-hmm. And I was absolutely compelled to become a part of it.
Great.
And I'm happy to be here. I'd like to add to what was already said about what happens in the classroom. It is a big contrast from a standard classroom in that, when it's working, you can see students completely occupied with what they are interested in. Mm-hmm. It's an interest-driven curriculum. That is to say that we are not trying to determine who these kids become. We're trying to see who they are already going to be of their own accord. We are here to support that development as they figure out who they are.
Right.
Not trying to carve them into some shape that fits in some certain job somewhere.
Right.
That's the big contrast. That's why I'm so completely compelled to be here working.
Absolutely, and very interesting. As you know, as our economy evolves and as our culture evolves, you know, those predetermined shapes don't necessarily fit anymore.
They don't.
And you're a parent here as well.
I'm a parent
you
and the office manager.
Yeah. And so do you find your children following their passion and following their interests here at the Lowcountry Montessori School?
I do see that. You know, mine are younger than Cabell, so they have the freedom to discover that and are supported. And I've said before on this program that like the peace culture that we offer here, I think really helps them to be able to feel that support from other people, to be themselves, to be their individual selves, and to figure out what it is that they are interested in and to go for that.
Cabell, back to you. You are a practical life teacher. Can you tell us a little bit about what that means for you and what you do in the classroom?
Well, practical life is part of the Montessori curriculum, going all the way back. And it has to do with learning to do those things which are necessary to get along in life. But that is tied in with learning through manipulation. A big part of the Montessori curriculum is tactile. You know, Montessori herself said that something to the effect of the brain is handmade, which means our primary learning is through the hands. We can see and we can hear and we can learn that way, but we don't know things to the degree that we know them if we manipulate them and alter them and explore them. So that is a very compelling idea to me because that's a big part of my life. So my goal is to try to extend the already existing practical life component into the upper grades. So part of that is the big idea, you know, is soon we'll have a maker's space. We'll have a building, you know, some kind of shelter that will house machine tools, house materials, allow projects to be stored, so we can go in there and work and do this very thing, explore materials, learn how to manipulate them, translate ideas into actual things.
Practical life skills. That's
exactly.
All right, we're going to take a short break, so stay right with us, and we'll be back with more 843 TV. Welcome back to 843 TV. Amy, we've been talking about the school here. What a great facility. Tell us a little bit about how many years you've been here now, and where do you see yourself going in the future, maybe in 5 years?
This is our second year in existence. We have been in this facility for 1 year now, and we're currently building our third building. That'll be our third and final building. For now, we're hoping that to expand in the future. In 5 years, we are hoping that we're have a really strong foundation in the Montessori community, which we're building right now. We're hoping that we'll be in full build out at 450 students. We'll have graduated a few senior classes, so that's exciting. And we're hoping to have things like the maker space that Mr. Cabell talked about. We're also hoping that we can start a capital campaign this summer to facilitate. We have a donor that has generously offered a large sum of money to the school, but it's a matching fund, so we've got to do some fundraising to raise the other end of that money and potentially build what we're thinking will be a pole barn of some sort that will house some storage and then possibly have an outdoor theater space and then an area to do recess or PE when the weather doesn't permit us to be outside. Something like that. So that's kind of the direction we're trying to go.
And Lowcountry Montessori School, is there a fee to go to school here? There's tuition?
There is not a tuition starting in kindergarten. Kindergarten through 12th grade, we are a free public Montessori charter school. We're actually the first Montessori charter school in South Carolina to offer a high school program, so we're very excited about that. There are a few private schools that offer Montessori at the high school level, but we're kind of forging the way for hopefully future Montessori charter schools to open elsewhere at the high school level. But at the 3- and 4-year-old program is a fee base.
Okay.
So that, because we don't get funded by the state for that.
Well, that's leads me to my next question: is how is the school funded? I mean, how do you build these buildings?
Our sponsor is the South Carolina Public Charter School District,
Okay.
and they're housed in Columbia. And so we get funded through them, and we're very creative with our funding. What most people don't realize is that we actually get $5,800 roughly per student. And just to give you an idea, Beaufort County Schools gets roughly $9,700 per student.
Wow.
Plus they get their facilities on top of that, plus their utilities. We function on $5,800 per student. On top of that, we pay our facilities and our utilities. So we roughly function on about a third of what the county schools do. So, and I think we do really well. I mean, considering that, but it would be nice to pay our teachers a little more. It would be nice to expand our facilities and offer certain things that we have to raise money for.
I have to say that we really do 3 times what is done elsewhere here with 1/3 the funds. And the proof is, if anyone would like to come and visit, we're very accommodating, and we would love to show what we do.
Absolutely. So you mentioned being creative with the funding and a donor. Do you have fundraising events throughout the year? If our viewers are interested in potentially making a donation, is that something that's available to them?
Well, we are a public school, so it's a tax write-off if anybody wanted to just write a check, which would be fabulous.
Right.
We also have our annual event is Artscape, Beaufort, and so we're gearing up for that next year, and that has raised a significant amount of money for us. And then there are generous people out there that really do just write us checks sometimes. And then we have small fundraisers throughout the years that the kids participate in.
Very cool. And so now we're kind of wrapping up this school year and looking towards 2016, 2017, and into the future. And you referenced that you'll be having a high school, offering a high school. Are you looking mainly for existing students as rising juniors and seniors? Is it open enrollment? How does that work?
We currently have 9th and 10th graders, and so we'll expand through 11th grade. But if anybody's interested in our school, it's a lottery-based system. We've already had our lottery, but we take applications until our 135th day.
Okay.
And so next year, if somebody's interested or something's not working out, we'll take students during the year also. But if somebody was interested in applying for next year, they would just need to download an application off of our website and send it in, email it or fax it or mail it in.
Mm-hmm. And how big is that 9th and 10th grade class approximately?
Right now we have about 50 students.
Okay.
So it's 25 students per grade. We'll end up with 100 students. So it's a small community.
And you also are open to anywhere in any communities nearby, not just the Beaufort area.
We are. We're a state-funded charter school, so we actually can take anyone from anywhere in the state of South Carolina. And we do have people that drive. We have parents that drive over an hour each way to bring their students here. We have teachers that drive over an hour each way to come to work here. And what we're finding is that people are actually moving to Beaufort because they've heard about us and they want a Montessori education for their students. It's really fascinating because people are coming from all over. Now they're hearing about us, which is great.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
It's great.
All right. Well, this has certainly been an educational experience for us. So thank you very much for having us and sharing with our viewers a little bit about what Lowcountry Montessori School does and the experience that your students are experiencing. So Cabell, Sarah, Amy, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And stick around for one more segment of 843 TV.
Welcome back to 843 TV. Joining us now are 2 lucky ladies who are students here at Lowcountry Montessori. Welcome, ladies. Why don't you tell us your names and what grade that you're in?
I'm Reese Myers, and I'm in 4th grade. I'll be going into 5th grade. Yeah.
My name is Bailey Johnson, and I'm a rising junior here.
Okay, we'll start with you. How long have you been coming to school here?
At this school, this is my 2nd year, but I've been in Montessori since I was 18 months old.
18 months old. Oh my goodness. And now you're 10, right?
Yes.
That's a long time. Tell us some things that you like about the school.
I like how you get to work on your own level, and you get to do hands-on projects, and it's just really fun. Yeah.
What is some of your favorite hands-on projects?
Well, this year we've been restoring a dollhouse, and we're gonna donate it to MUSC Children's Hospital.
Oh, wow.
And we made dog toys that we've donated to different animal shelters, and we've dissected different animals, and that was really cool. And we've done a lot of science experiments too.
That sounds like a lot of creative things. What was your favorite out of all those?
I like dissecting. It was really cool.
You like dissecting animals? Well, that's good because I wouldn't like that one. That was for sure. Well, so you get a lot of hands-on experience and a lot of creative ways to, and plus you're giving back, it sounds like, where you're bringing the dollhouse to the kids at the Children's Center in Charleston. That's really cool. Very awesome.
Bailey, how about you? How long have you been in school here at Lowcountry Montessori School?
I actually started last year, so this will be my second year.
Okay.
And I really like it.
Yeah. And were you in a Montessori school program before that, or were you in a different kind of program?
Actually, I went to Robert Smalls before, and then I went, for my 8th grade year, I was homeschooled.
Okay.
And then I started here, and I like it so much better.
Yeah, you kind of experienced a full gambit
rough.
of educational experiences. And so now, one of your teachers earlier mentioned that Lowcountry Montessori School encourages their students to follow their interests and follow their passions. Have you found that you've been able to identify some interests and passions and follow those here at Lowcountry Montessori School?
Yes, actually, I've learned a lot this year, and I don't think I would have learned it if I would have went anywhere else. I've matured a lot. I've learned to work better with younger kids, and I met a lot of new people, and they're great.
Yeah. Now, one of the things, working with younger kids, you being the older kid, you're kind of in a position of a mentor. That's kind of what they call that. And sometimes that's one of the better learning experiences that you can have is by teaching. Have you found that to be the case?
Yes, actually, we've been working with the little kids, and I met a little girl named Olivia, and she reminds me of me when I was younger. And so, whenever I see she's in a tough situation, I go in there and I help out with her class, and I make sure she's doing all right throughout the day.
Very cool.
Very cool.
And we understand one of your interests and passions is singing, is that right?
Yes, sir. I'm actually releasing my first single June 1st.
Wow.
Wow.
So you're recording a song and releasing it on June 1st.
Tell us about what kind of music are you creating?
I sing a lot of different genres, but I like R&B and pop.
Wow, very impressive, very impressive. What about you? Any other special hobbies or interests that you've been able to pursue here at school?
Yes, I've been an actor, but I kind of stopped. I did a play this week, actually. And I also play soccer.
You also play soccer? Great. So soccer is one of the sports were you able to do here at Montessori School?
Not yet, but soon. And also I run, and they have a running club, and
Okay.
I've been doing
That's
that.
great. So you can keep in shape, you can act, you can dissect frogs, you can do it all. That's awesome.
Bailey, as a sophomore now becoming a junior, could you kind of take us through the day of a life of a Lowcountry Montessori School student? What time do you get here? Do you get to eat lunch? Where do you do that? What are some of your, are you in a classes? Do they have bells ring and you're shuffled around school, or do you kind of stay in the same class room environment all day long? How does that work? So we'll start with the morning. What time do you get here?
Okay, I actually get here around 7:45. School starts at 8.
Okay.
My first class I usually go to, it depends on what day it is. So it's like A day, B day type thing.
Okay.
And so Mondays I would go into personal world, and basically to help find out where you are in life. You get personal questions to ask yourself, and I've learned a lot about myself just by the questions, because you don't really think about them as you're just going through life. And I realized, at first I was like, what's the point of personal world? But I actually kind of found out the reason why, and it's to find out who you are and where you want to be and how you're going to get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so after that, I go to math class. I enjoyed algebra this year. It was really challenging.
Yes.
But I passed.
That's good.
And I apparently did really good on my EOC, so thanks to Miss Sarah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. after that, we have lunch. I think our classes are like an hour and 30 minutes
Okay.
each. And we eat lunch in the classrooms.
Okay.
We open the barn doors, and 9th and 10th grade get to eat together. And so social hour time. Then after that, we go outside and play like volleyball and stuff for like 20 minutes, maybe 10 minutes.
Okay.
Depends on how lunch goes. And after that, I go to science, and we do like labs, and we get a lesson, and then quizzes, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, well, before that, we have language.
Okay, so the foreign language?
No, we have actually English.
Okay.
And then on Tuesdays, on Tuesdays we have French. And I've learned a lot in French this year because I used to take Spanish, but they're kind of the same if you kind of think about it.
Yeah, yes, there are a lot of similarities.
So now I get them mixed up, but I like French. It's cool. And then, yeah.
Well, we're about out of time, but Reese, do you want to share one last words maybe for your teachers about the experience you've had at school this year?
I love my teacher. She's amazing. She's been a Montessori teacher for a long time and a traditional school teacher for an even longer time. But she's amazing. She taught me so much in this year. And she was my teacher last year too, actually. And I've just learned so much from her.
Great. Well, ladies, thank you for sharing about your experience here at the school, and good luck to you with your music career this summer. And thank you for joining us for another episode of 843 TV.
Where communities come to speak.